The Injustice movie was really bad, and it has gotten some well-deserved hate, but I think it's not so much on its own merit because discussions around it are usually made in comparison with the Injustice comics and games, and I quite frankly do not care about those. I don't play the games and I've only read a bit of the comics, so I watch the movie as its own thing regardless of what happened in the source material. So it being bad has to do with some things that were comic accurate and some things that were changed. Actually, mainly because of what it did as a standalone film or what it didn't do. But that's just a heads up. People usually say you can only enjoy the movie if you don't know about the comic or games. But as someone who's mainly into DC animated movies, I did not like it. Now, one thing about the film is that if you're actually using your brain, you're gonna be like,
wait a minute!
Every 30 seconds. I'll start with the beginning. Like in the scene where Lois Lane and Jimmy are spying, then Joker is suddenly right beside them and they didn't notice. I'll play you the clip.
Just one more. Jimmy! Well.
And there's this other scene where Wonder Woman needs to get information out of the Mirror Master and she doesn't use the lasso of truth but instead threatens to kill him. It's those little things. And Jimmy's death is never mentioned throughout the movie, by the way, and this is very prominent. If he didn't get shot or wasn't in this scene, absolutely nothing would change. And Joker somehow kidnaps Lois, does a heart surgery and successfully plants a bomb in her in record time, all in the same morning. And you mean to tell me he can plant a bomb that size in Metropolis but was never successful in Gotham? And to top it off, he successfully installed a trap specifically designed for Flash, and it works effectively. Like, the sheer amount of plot convenience surrounding this man needs to be studied. And that Flash death was so unnecessary and stupid. Like, if he had been kept alive, nothing would have changed. Notice the trend? His death affects no one and he's never talked about again. Another problem with the movie for me is that Superman does an instant 180 when becoming a dictator, and this is one of the things that's the fault of the adaptation because it's more believable when he slowly descends into that, but here it's like he had it in him all along and was just looking for an excuse. Look at Light from Death Note, for instance, and even when he's being normal Superman, he doesn't act like normal Superman. He never shows compassion or his beliefs. Like, compare him to the Superman in Superman vs. the Elite, who literally takes the opposite stance as him. But what I'm about to say is one of the most annoying and weirdly funny parts of the movie for me, and that's Wonder Woman's constant me writing. Like, there's no need to say too much, so I'll just play you the clips.
How are you?
Angry.
That is your right. Even now, Superman is saving lives while we talk. With our help, Superman can make a perfect world. You're a good man, and even through this loss, you see what needs to be done. You'll have to be strong, as only you can. Let your friends help you, as you've helped us time and again. But you'll find him. You're Superman. Your will be done.
Please don't say that. I'm not a god.
True. You aren't nearly as venal, cruel, or arrogant.
I just want to keep people safe.
If anyone can, it's you.
Whose weird fetish fanfic was this? By the way, I've never been a fan of the Superman and Wonder Woman ship, so maybe that's why I hate it, but she's always at odds with Batman these days. As a matter of fact, she's always mean these days. The Wonder Woman in Justice League had a balance between compassion and stubbornness, but these writers saw the compassion part and were like, fuck no, baby! Also, Harley Quinn is in this movie a bit too much. I might even make a video about the way Harley Quinn is prominent in everything. Like, she's gotta be some kind of anchor bean or some fixed point in time or something. Another thing that really plagued this movie were the ridiculous, unnecessary, and edgy deaths. Like, that Nightwing death caught me off guard. I could have low-key chuckled when I heard he died from that. And I get it, people die from anything and the story needed Deadwing, but of all the ways to end him, it had to be that. It couldn't have been him sacrificing himself to save Robin from one of the criminals, then have Robin turn to Superman's side after seeing how irredeemable the villains are. But at least his death made Batman mourn. This movie keeps killing characters for shock value and they'll never mention it again. Flash, Green Arrow, Captain Atom, Cyborg, Hawkman. Like, immediately after Hawkman's head gets squished, Cyborg says,
"Time to get experiments." Oh yeah!
I'm telling you guys, you can't take this shit seriously. And it's crazy because the DC animated movie before this was Dark Apocalypse War, which also had edgy deaths left and right, but at least we actually knew the characters in that movie enough to care. Which brings me to my next point: horrible pacing. My personal opinion is that this movie should have been a 2 or even 3-parter, considering the story they went for, because what they ended up with was a rushed summary of events. bad events. And if you're a fan of DC animated movies like me, then you'll notice that they've always had a fast pacing problem in a lot of their films because, well, 80 to 90 minutes isn't enough for the stories they adapt. I mean, take a look at Batman Hush. They barely have those slower moments like in the anime, so I don't know what stops them from simply increasing the duration of the movies. But yeah, this movie had it particularly rough. Characters just appear and disappear, like Shazam, Raven, just to name a few, and things just like happen, like the whole Mazo thing, which was out of nowhere and like the most boring part of the movie. Another thing I noticed is the subtle Batman glazing, Joker referring to Superman as easy mode while Batman is supposed to be hard mode, Joker being able to blow up Metropolis, take out Flash, turn Superman evil, but he always loses to Batman. Like, I'm a Batman glazer myself, but at least make it believable. Then there's the BS ending. Like, they bring in Superman from another universe to talk to this Superman, but they end up fighting. Their Superman beats him. They bring in the Lois Lane from another universe to talk Superman out of it, and that works. My question is, why even bring the alternate Superman when you could have just brought Lois Lane off the go? So the Superman fight was purely fan service. But yeah, a pretty underwhelming ending for a ridiculous movie. But believe it or not, there were some things I liked. I actually liked the Damian and Nightwing dynamic. I've always enjoyed it, even from the DCAMU movies, and it was done fairly well here. But it's just awesome, you know? I also like Catwoman's design in this film and her character. It's pretty stereotypical, but at least she doesn't double cross Batman or something. And Plastic Man and Mr. Terrific were definitely the highlight of this movie. Plastic Man was like the only one who was acting appropriately to this shit, and the prison break scene was pretty cool. And in general, while it is a bad movie, it's not particularly boring. Like, it's a watchable something you can turn your brain off to. Just a sequence of random events. So it isn't just worse than you remember, it's worse the more you think about it and dig into it. I don't know, I'm just yapping, but tell me what you thought about the Injustice movie, and actually subscribe. Do it, like do it, just click subscribe. So have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Last chance, Cyborg. Stop.
All right, Riddler, time to go.
Are you hurt?
That's impossible. The data stamp on the virus. You uploaded it the day we met.